I hope they can stay.
I also hope they can stay.
Yeah. They're one of the club really work their socks off, no matter
Yes.
how
Yeah.
unlucky they are.
That wasn't a red. That wasn't a yellow. The title race has swung back into Manchester City's favor. Welcome to the Football Kaki. I am your host, Eldet, and I am joined by my fellow Kaki bros, Midat and Jordan, on this wonderful public holiday in Singapore. How are you guys doing?
Good, doing well.
Great. Tired.
Okay, I am also doing quite great. Man United won yesterday, although by the skin of the teeth. But enough about Man United. In the past 7 days, a lot has changed at the top of the table. What's happened is that City has beaten Arsenal 4-1, and they have also won their game at the weekend against Fulham, essentially putting them at the top of the table with a game in hand. They have won their last 5 games, and they have, if I'm not wrong, a superior goal difference by at least 14 goals, which everything counts actually into the favor of Manchester City. So, guys, with the run-in left about 6 games for City, 5 games for Arsenal, is it a very big swing in terms of into Man City's favor because of their past experience? And also, I think it will go down to the wire. But what do you guys think?
George, what do you think?
Big swing, no lah. I kind of expected it to go the other way. Yeah. I mean, yes, I woke up early morning to watch it. I kind of preempt it that Man City will win lah. Even though my previous episode, how I expected to draw, but yes, based on experience, yes, they are more. Their side with more composure, and they really played with dominance in and out. So even you play with dominance doesn't mean you want to attack. You just want to breathe and get control of the ball, breathe, and then out of nowhere you attack again. Yeah, that's how I think composure it should be lah. Right now, as you can see, Arsenal are still a young squad. You say that they have composure. I doubt so. They have composure. They only have the gung ho spirit. When they score a goal, they just get rowdy in front of the crowd and just get them cheer for us. Yeah, something like that. So I think they still need a few more experience or key marquee player this time round signings to be able to for next year challenge especially.
Yeah, but I don't think you guys are still totally out of it yet, because at the end of the day, right, City still got to play 6 games lah. So anything can happen within those 6 games. Any game can actually happen.
Yeah, but
we
still tend to drop points also.
Yeah, can also. So, but we just run again. Jordan, sorry, what is it?
They still are facing. They still have Newcastle to meet, Brighton to meet,
Chelsea.
Chelsea no need lah.
Because just nice, Jordan. You already bring up the next portion before I bring up is the run in already. I want to talk about the run in. So let's talk just both about Man City and Arsenal's run in. So Arsenal's run in is Chelsea, Newcastle, Brighton, Forest, Wolves. That's the remaining 5. That's the remaining 5. But for Manchester City, their remaining 6 is of course Everton, Chelsea. Oh no, sorry. It's West Ham, Leeds, Everton, Chelsea, Brighton, Man City. Of course, they also have the Champions League semi-final in between.
And at the end they have the FA Cup.
Yes, at the end they have the FA Cup. So for City, they are in a lot of different competitions, right? So essentially, what are they going to prioritize lah? Because now they do have essentially a hand or a shot at the Champions League, like a significant shot at the Champions League, right? But they also have to keep in line this title race. Plus, they have in mind the FA Cup. But the FA Cup, I think they can put on the back burner because it's after the season. But I think now it's just where do they shift to momentum for the Premier League and the Champions League. So now my question is, for Manchester City, right, is their focus league or the Champions League? Because long term, they've always wanted to be Champions League.
I think it's both.
I think that they'll be able to diversify and then play both. I think considering the fact that their attacking depth is really very good. I mean, they've shown also that they can dominate games. They don't need Haaland.
Yeah.
So it's just about if they have Haaland, it's like added thing. So it's like they can just have a target man. If they don't have him, it's okay. We can play fluid football. So like Mahrez is also playing well. Grealish is playing well. And then also Alvarez also is playing well. And then sometimes you forget actually Foden is on the team. So
Grealish also.
Yeah, so I think they'll be fine. As in like they can just sort of, they don't need to particularly pick like which game they should focus on. I think they can just take it like game by game. So then if they feel like okay, this game I can rest Haaland or whatever, then I'll just rest him. Or this game I feel I can Then defensively also they're solid lah. They don't really have any concerns.
Yeah, because I mean, like if you really compare, like as a perspective, just looking at both the run-ins, I think Arsenal's run-in is slightly harder to me because they have to play because of the fact that they have to play Newcastle. I think Chelsea currently they're still finding themselves, even though they're playing both City and Arsenal. Right, I don't think there will be much of a huge threat lah into their matches. So we shall see. Let's just look forward to a nail biting last few matches towards the end of the title hopefully and as a Man United fan, I really want Arsenal to win because I don't want to see the light blue side of Manchester lift another trophy.
Yeah. I also think it's very good to have like new champions. I always think that it's a good thing that it's like it's not a repeat sort of thing. So it's like everyone gets a chance to win, and after that it like will cause different teams to go improve. That's why I'm always all about like I don't really believe in financial fair play or this. I believe that teams should like if you can build, then you can build lah. And then also, I also think one thing about Arsenal. I mean, like before we end off this segment, I saw there was this segment in the overlap that is saying that the mindset of Arsenal, even if let's say they don't win the title, they cannot have this mindset that like they bottled the title going into the next season. They have to have a mindset that is like we overachieve, then it's like we grow so much over the course of the year lah. So yeah, overall I think it's gonna be okay.
I agree also because I also think that usually teams that win the league usually have a form of setback prior to winning the league. So I mean, like if let's say even if you don't win it now, you are in line to win the next year because the only way you can move is you move ahead already. So if you let's say for example if you don't win it this season, you still have an opportunity to win it the next season. But how do you get over? But you have to keep in mind that okay, we are this close. What do I need to add to make sure that I can close that gap to be able to win in the end? To win in the end, and usually that's what the champions will do lah. So like Liverpool, okay, I needed to do this in order to win the title, and they finally did it lah. So hopefully, that will be a good roundup to the end of the season. So the next one, we have a good game yesterday.
Yeah, it's a fun game.
The Liverpool is finally. I feel like they're finally getting their form. So we're going to talk about Liverpool versus Spurs. In a sense where Liverpool has won 4-3, but it is kind of like I don't know how to say it. It's like kind of like a Liverpool and Spurs game where Spurs they always concede in the early part of the match, somehow find a way to come back, and then Liverpool they will attack, they will score, right? But then defensively they will have their issues.
Yeah.
So in a sense where they left it to the last. So Mila, as a Liverpool fan, right? How were you feeling during the match?
I was never comfortable throughout the game, even though we had this 3-0 lead. Because when you watch the game itself, right, they were doing a lot of like over the top passes to Son and Kane throughout the whole game, and Kulusevski also. It was a very fun game because of the fact I think both teams also were pressing very high.
Yes.
So it's like there was a lot of interceptions and battles won in the midfield, but at the same time it's like quite even. So it's like everyone just kept losing the ball in the midfield. I think what was the main difference in the sort of like Liverpool just managing to pull it off, right, is the fact that we have sort of attacking depth in a way.
Yep.
So for like Jota to like score that goal, I mean in that moment also he played very well and then he came on as a sub. So I think that was the main difference. I also think if you're looking at the goal that sort of like they scored like this Tottenham scored before they when they started to celebrate and then they did the Richarlison do the chicken thing with Son, right? That's the thing about Tottenham, I feel. It's like they shouldn't celebrate too early. It's just a tie. Do you know what I mean? Like you shouldn't be celebrating a draw. You should be trying to win the game still. Yeah. And then this is sort of the mentality that I feel that they are like at they're not at the elite mentality yet. So yeah, and then whereas Liverpool is like they have this sort of experience as like we fight to the end, lor. So it's like really just that's why that was the main difference, lah. I feel
It's similar to what I think in our previous episodes when we talked about Spurs, right? Is what we also brought up also, like that Spurs just don't have that kind of like, okay, I know how to win.
Yeah, it's like
because if you knew
because of 4 games.
Correct. So it's the type of thing where if you knew how to win, right, you wouldn't be celebrating a draw. You would just be like, okay, quickly get the ball out of the net, put it in the center box, right, and then go and try to get the next goal.
Yeah, but actually I wanted to ask, right, because I know Jota scored the winner, but there was a controversy around him being on the pitch because he had this high boot challenge. Do you think that he should be sent off or not?
Yeah, in my first reaction, it should be sent off as high foot, then quite dangerous, and there was blood gushing out.
Yeah, there was blood. I mean, like if you see after that when they go to the set piece, right? This Ben Davies had to go and get patched up after that. So if you'd ask me, to be honest, it was quite shocking that he was still sort of like allowed to play on. But good and bad, I think that the referee is not a good referee. This Paul Tierney. I think he sucks as a ref, man. Every time I see him like ref any game, right, I'm like, this I don't understand. How is he a ref?
Wait, but I got a question though. Usually in high boot, right? If let's say it's foot to the head, right? Then what constitutes a high boot? Because sometimes it could be the player bending down.
Like they were both okay. How to say? I think that the ball, right, is like a challenge where the guy was going with it for his head. Jota could have easily like not used his leg.
Pull out lah.
Yeah, as in he could have challenged using his head or whatever, but he decided to use his boot to like flick it off lah.
Yep.
So in that moment, I also feel that actually it was a dangerous challenge because if you look at it in slow motion, especially, but I think in the end also like we were quite lucky that we managed to go and pull off this like victory in the end. Yeah, like luck is luck. Need a bit to win.
Okay, so where does this actually leave both Spurs and Liverpool now? Because if I'm not wrong now, it's already Liverpool's ahead already. Liverpool's in 5th, then Spurs is 6th. Does this mean that Liverpool are in contention to secure that Europa League spot over Spurs?
We have an easier run-in of games towards the end of the season than Spurs, I believe. I just think that personally, right, I'm not I've always been a believer is like I rather Champions League or nothing.
Yeah.
So it's like I rather not be in Europa League than play in Europa League. Yeah.
Understand.
Yeah, because the travel, this is no joke. You know what I mean? Like yeah, then it's like you can just focus on the Premier League the whole season, that type of thing. So it's
and you also
for the players.
And in Europa League, you play more games also because they have the extra round.
Yeah, I agree.
Really?
Yeah, they have extra round. That's why since World Cup, Man United's been playing 3 games, a game every 3 days.
Yes, yeah. No joke lah. Plus,
it's really no joke one. Because if I'm not wrong, Europa has the round of 32 also. Whereas Champions League only got round of 16.
Yeah, sometimes you have to travel until Turkey.
Yeah, and then and the worst part is that like Champions League games usually are Tuesdays and Wednesdays. Europa League games are Thursday.
Yeah.
So you imagine, right? You're playing Thursday, right? Then you're playing Sunday. Then you're playing Thursday. Then you're playing Sunday.
Yeah. Yeah, just I'd rather not.
So it's all right. So okay. So any more things before we move on to the main segment of this show?
Do y'all see after we scored the 4th goal, right? This Klopp celebrate in front of the referee. Do you see? Then when he was celebrating, he got a leg cramp.
Never warm up.
Then funny, I laugh. I was like,
then the next man you see him in crutches.
Yeah, next man see him in crutches. He like oh, then he hold his thigh.
Medic.
Yeah, medic. Yeah. Good.
Okay. All right. Okay, so that is the discussion for the Liverpool and Spurs thing. I think the momentum really swung over to Liverpool side because I think they're in currently a good grain of form. Spurs, to be honest, right, their attacking play has been decent, right, but I do think that they got to sort out the first 10 minutes of the game problem.
Yeah,
it's happening too frequently, too often that it's just not good anymore. So with that, welcome. Just want to say to everybody again, welcome to the Football Kaki. Today's episode, we're going to talk about the relegation battle from the teams that are going down from the 14th of the league to the 20th, and we're also going to run through their run-in, basically the goals considered, the issues that are actually happening on the field per se, right? And also at the end of the episode, we will give our predictions of who we think are actually going down. to the championship. So with that, let's get into this week's episode. Okay, so as we are heading towards the end of the season and the close-up, we've always been talking about the league title picture and, of course, the front two, but there's also one other significant thing that we also have to talk about that happens every year towards the end of the season. It is called the battle for relegation. So in this episode, we're going to do a bit more of an in-depth dive into the 6 teams, or like more like 7, that are actually in contention for relegation. All of them have played about 33 to 34 games. Some played 34, some played 33. And the 7 teams are from the bottom is Southampton, Everton, Leicester, Nottingham Forest, Leeds United, West Ham and Wolves. West Ham and Wolves, they are more slightly on the safer side. But from the 16th position, which is Leeds downwards, the gap between them is about 6 points total, which can swing really either way. And some of them are going to be playing one another. in the title run. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about it, and we're going to talk from the bottom up. So the first team we're going to talk about is Southampton. Southampton have a total of 4 games left in the run, in which are Nottingham Forest, Fulham, Brighton and Liverpool.
Thanks.
Judging by this, right, guys, how many of it can they win of the 4? Because technically Southampton, right, they have to win all 4.
Thanks to Theo Walcott yesterday.
Like, oh, Theo. Okay. Yeah, it has to be Theo Walcott. I think that we can sort of pencil down, confirm, right, Southampton will get relegated.
Yes.
I more or less am resigned to the fact that they are going down.
Yeah. Based on Opta analysis thingy, right, it's 97.6% of going in to relegation.
It's very high.
Yeah. Especially if you look through their I would say that their main issue, right, is that they can't score.
Yes, I agree.
So they are 20th in XG, right, expected goals. But the thing is that they are 14th in chances created. So it means that actually they're underperforming in finishing. So that means that their finishing is not good enough. And then they are relying on Adam Armstrong and Che Adams to score. But their actually top scorer is actually James Ward-Prowse with 5. So and then so James Ward-Prowse has 5. He also has 2 assists. And then it's like I think that they're gonna go down and he's gonna leave lah. So yeah. But the funny thing about this Southampton, right, is that they are first in interceptions per game and clearances is 5th. They are third in successful tackles. So defensively they are not horrible. They just can't score. So it's like
like from what I see, before I move on, is that actually they press quite well and they do actually get the ball back quite quickly. So some of the goals actually they do come from pressing. It's just that whenever they're in front of goal, they either shoot over the bar, just missed off the target, cannot finish, hit the post. and like one stat that I also found interesting, right, is that so we just move on before I get over to Jordan, right, is that Southampton actually considered a total of about 14 goals in the last 6. But they scored 5 only. But the thing is that the 5 goals are coming from 5 different goal scorers. So to add to Mia's point of the chance creation, right, and not finishing, their goal source is not coming from one player also. But the problem is that even though it's not coming from one player, which many would deem is a good thing, right, it's also not high.
Yeah.
So their return rate is also not high, right? And it's not to say that there is no quality in their squad.
Yeah.
Or to be able to score like good goals and everything like that. So, George, what do you think of Southampton?
Yeah, to be honest, they are not a bad squad. They are just that they can be really unlucky at times also.
Yeah.
With the way they play also. And their goal scored is quite considerably high compared to few seasons. Those relegation battle type, could have been better.
Yeah, I think that one of the main things that I was looking at, right, when I was seeing this is that one of my highlighted points is that there's a lot of wasted chances. Which is what we brought up also. Then like one good thing of actually how to show how good they are actually when they play against Arsenal, I find that a lot of the things, right, is that they do have the capability to punish you when you make a mistake. Like Ramsey will make a mistake, then after that they gave away the ball in midfield for the second goal, which was a very nice goal to Theo Walcott. So it's stuff like that where you can't fault them for their work rate. I think it's just more or less they just cannot find that cohesion like going forward.
Yeah, they need some sort of like a focal point.
Yeah.
But I also think just like maybe end off this Southampton, I think that their manager is inexperienced. That's the main reason that I feel that they will go down, because this Ruben Celes, right? He's never coached any other team besides this Southampton team.
Okay.
So yeah, especially when you go against like the likes of the other teams, which we're gonna go in later, right?
Yep.
Their managers are more proven. So yeah, and then I would say also Southampton, they had a good run, but this sort of like model that they've done financially to go and like sort of sell them, build back, right? Yeah, I think it's like sort of run its course, I guess, because the other teams, they're starting to do it better.
Yep.
Like you look at Brighton or other teams like that. Yeah.
Yep. Are we in consensus that Southampton is the team that's confirmed going down?
Yes. 97% say so.
97%.
Go buy a Liverpool feeder club. Every time we snatch all their players.
Yeah. Okay. So because I think the gap between like the top is a bit too big for them to win, and I don't think they can win all four of their games. We're going to move on to the next club, which is Everton. They have a total of 5 games left, which are Leicester, Brighton, Man City, Wolves, and Bournemouth. I think they are the prime example of what you shouldn't do with 500 million and how you spend it. Because with the amount of investment that the ownership has actually put in, right, I don't think it is, how to say, like where they should be.
Where's that fella? Gordon.
Gordon.
He benefiting. He go Newcastle.
Yeah. Correct.
Really?
Yeah. He benefiting. He go Newcastle. Dude, you leave Everton, you go to Newcastle. One bottom of the table, one fighting for Champions League spot. I think is a good trade-off lah.
Yeah,
but I must say Everton got an easy run in compared to the last 5 clubs.
Yeah.
Oh,
but
okay.
They have an easy run in, right? But they also got the same problem, right? They cannot score.
Yeah, they cannot score.
They just cannot score. So like, let's say for example, like the Newcastle one is just like when they score against Newcastle, right? It's just a very random set piece that the ball just go from corner kick and just roll into the goal.
Yeah, they're last in goals per match in the league. As in, like, they have the lowest goals per match. 0.8, not even 1. They can't even average like 1 goal a game.
9.8% conversion rate.
Yeah, correct. It's bad, man.
Yeah, then I also think that their decision making in front of goal is like quite bad, because if you really see like their goals, so let's say for example the goals that they scored is against Newcastle, Fulham, and Spurs lah. So like Newcastle was a random set piece. Fulham was McNeil with a long shot that went into the bottom net. Then the Spurs one, right, they got lucky because Michael Keane randomly out of nowhere did a few Yagyaka like against Liverpool. Then the ball just fly into the top corner of the net. So it's those type of things where their goals are not really like, it's like a well-crafted team goal or anything like that. It's just like, okay, I'm just gonna try my luck.
Yeah.
Then it just so happens that the ball go into the net.
Yeah. Plus, this Calvert-Lewin, right? He's only came back for he's only played 13 games this season.
Yeah.
So he only scored 1 goal this season, which is I think is the main reason why that they're not playing well, because they had to rely on like Gray, like McNeil, like they have to depend on these type of people to go and score. Like Iwobi is their top assist leader, so 6 assists. Yeah. To be honest, they are not a bad team. I think that if they get relegated, right, a lot of clubs will ransack their defenders and midfielders.
Yeah, confirm.
Because they have like Cody, Godfrey, Tarkowski, Holgate. They got Idrissa Gueye, Doucouré, James Gardner, Onana. Yeah, it will be. Yeah.
Somebody will take Pickford also.
Yeah, yeah. But like Liverpool, they've had I would say by our standards for the past few years is a bad season. But nothing, I think it'll make me happy if Everton want to get relegated. Especially because I don't like Pickford. But like I don't know what do you all think? Do you think that Sean Dyche is like will be able to sort of like pull it off not? No. So you think that they're going down lah?
I think that they're going down.
George, what about you? Do you think so also?
Yeah, I think they'll be going down to Sean Dyche make only the first match appearances against Arsenal. That game they were in hot ranting form. I don't know why. Then after that everything go down again.
No, but is it down to managerial decisions also? Because like at the start of the season they started Frank Lampard. then they switch over to Sean Dyche. But then the thing is, like we mentioned in our, actually I realized a lot of these clubs we already talked about already.
No,
Everton.
Sean Dyche at least have a proper system.
No, Sean Dyche have a proper system, but if like we mentioned, like if you look at his track record, he's either done very well, where he's like with Burnley, right, where he's above what they expect, right, or they've done really badly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Sean Dyche, right? Yeah, he's a type of manager. He needs like really like a long period of time with a club to like ingrain in them that we are going to defend. Like the whole team, right? All of us have to like defend. So if you ask me to come halfway, which is like the opposite of Lampard, because Lampard is not actually I don't know Lampard is what. Yeah, I don't know what kind of manager is he. So it's like maybe the theories or the philosophies are different. Then halfway you have to go and switch. Yeah, but they're not a bad team. Just that they're not how to say it's an unfortunate season.
Yeah. I just think that they are a bit messy right now. And like you can clearly see that there's also a confidence drop because like let's say for example like especially with the defenders so like against Man United Seamus Coleman did one of the most horrific mistakes ever. Like the Lisandro long ball, right? Then he tried to control it, the ball went underneath his foot, then it was a goal lah. Then against Newcastle Isak just dribbled past almost everybody. Then it's caught. So it's stuff like that, right? Where losing a lot actually does affect confidence. And the thing is that the players, like we mentioned, that they're not bad players. They're actually very good players. They're high quality players.
Yeah,
it's just that
they're Premier League level players.
Yes.
Yeah,
but they just can't like perform to what is expected of them. And the thing is also like Sean Dyche also generally for his lineups for the past few games, he's played about 80% to 90% the same lineup most of the time. Plus, doesn't help that they also had 2 red cards in the past 5 games.
Yeah, correct.
So suspensions also don't really help lah. And so George, what do you think of Everton?
I think to pull back my words, what I said earlier, that they got big chance of getting relegated. But looking at the list and their games recently played, they drew with quite a few those kind of mid-table type of clubs.
Yep.
So I do think, if everything they really place in mind, then they do able to get out of the 5 games probably a good 6 points.
Yeah, but the question is also, is 6 points enough or not? Because 6 points will meet them on par. Okay, so let's say for example 6 points. If West Ham lose all their remaining 5 games, right, then they will be level on par with West Ham. So it's a bit of a big ask to like realize, like let's say for example they get 6 points out of the last 5, which essentially means that probably minimum 2 wins and minimum 2 wins . So it's a tricky situation for them to beat him . But then again, the gap between them and Leeds is only 2 points.
Yeah.
So if 6 points may be able to do it also, if you're really counting it that way . Yeah. So I think what we'll do is that we will leave our prediction for Everton towards the end of the episode, because this one is still it's not a surefire as Southampton . So we'll leave this one for the later portion to see where they actually end up and what we think they actually end up . Okay, so the next one is Leicester City, currently 18th, 29 points. Then their remaining run-in is Everton, Fulham, Liverpool, Newcastle, West Ham. They are going to play Everton.
Yeah.
So I think this is the one that actually, of all of them, this is the one that shocks me the most actually.
Yeah.
Because they should
their
with the quality
is like shooks, yeah.
With their quality of players, they shouldn't even be anywhere close to this position.
I would say that they're actually quite unlucky this season. Yeah. Considering if you look at the fact their statistics, right? They are 11th in goals per match, which is the highest of the relegation competitors. They're 11th in possession, 12th in expected goals, 11th in shots on target per match, 9th in big chances created. Defensively, they're actually quite okay. They are 11 successful tackles per match, which is 6th. Then they have 9.8 interceptions per game, which is 5th. So, in terms of like the team itself, right, they can score. I think that they are quite unlucky. Like to be honest, because they've been losing a lot of like very, very unfortunate games. But at the same time, also it's like they can, how to say, it's like they shouldn't be in this position like as a club lah. As in, like, they are too talented as a team to be in this position. Yeah lah. So I think that's why also they had to like sack Rodgers in the end. I think that if they get relegated, also a lot of teams will ransack their club.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Really, Talisman is very delicious.
Yeah, and no, Tielemans is the one that I think really everybody wants to get. Madison also.
And
Madison
Didi.
also. Madison and Didi, Harvey Barnes.
Yeah, Barnes.
Barnes
Two of them
also.
playing well. Barnes and Madison.
Yep. George, what do you think of Leicester?
But yeah, this Leicester got better conversion rate compared to than Everton and Southampton lah. It's just that I find they really slow in their transfer these few seasons. If they have make a better, faster move of getting a new striker or something, they might be in a better position. Because I find they over rely on Jamie Vardy. Then this season he's injured.
Yeah.
A bit. Then Iheanacho have to step in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you also do you think Iheanacho is not as capable a replacement?
I think he's a good player, because Vardy is a more clear out, like get in behind striker.
Yeah.
So I think they have to change the way that they play with Iheanacho, because Iheanacho is more of a skilled forward. He can get in behind, but he's like, how does it? Yeah, he's more of a like. That's why there's a reason why he fit into the Man City team initially, because his style of play fits their type of football.
Yeah. I also think that they've been a bit like, how to say, because honestly, of the goals scored and goals considered, right, they scored 6, they only considered 10. So their goals considered is actually not very high also.
Yeah. They got a lot of injuries though. As in a lot of defensive injuries. That's why I think that's a reason why that they've been so unlucky. Like Bertrand is out, Vestergaard is out, Ricardo Pereira is out, James Justin is out. Then they've been having to play what's the guy's name? The other David Luiz.
Face.
Yeah, bro. I don't think he's good,
He
man.
sucks.
He sucks balls. Yeah. And then I know also for a fact, I think Soyeon Chu already signed a pre-contract agreement with Atletico, so he's leaving at the end of the season anyway. So yeah, Leicester. The only thing is that I don't know about y'all. I think Dean Smith is quite an okay manager. Like, he's not too bad because he's got track record. He's a EPL level manager, Aston Villa, Norwich. Also, he coached Brentford for such a long period when they were starting to build up the team.
Yeah.
But they shouldn't be at this position based on the XG and the football that they've been playing. I think they've been a bit unlucky.
Yeah. To me, I look at it like they actually have good quality. Like, some of the goals that they actually scored are very nice, are very good quality. I think the other time was Castagni against Wolves. The one where they set up the play, move the ball left, right, then it's just a square, nice square pass where he's running in from behind the side to tap in. They'll score. Then against Leeds, Vardy just a finish. So the fact that they've been like, oh, okay, it's a bit unlucky. I feel like against Man City, right, they considered 10 goals up, but 3 of the goals were against Man City.
Correct.
Yeah, then the goal, it's a John Stones volley, then they gave away a penalty. And stuff like that. So it's just little things that I think they also need to niggle out. But sometimes the mistakes also don't really help. Like Madison's mistake against Bournemouth. With the back pass. So I really hope that they don't get relegated. I think that this is the one that I think they'll survive, but we'll leave it for later, like we do the rest of the predictions. Before we give away anything. So but where Leicester is and what they should be, I think all of us agree that they shouldn't be where they are.
Yeah, correct.
They just shouldn't be where they are. All right. Next one. 17th place, Nottingham Forest. 4 games left. Southampton, Chelsea, Arsenal, Crystal Palace.
I hope they can stay.
I also hope they can stay.
Yeah. They're one of the club really work their socks off, no matter how unlucky they are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do agree also. Plus, I also find that when they came, I don't think they were expecting to come into the Premier League. Yeah, because if I know a lot of the squad they had when they were doing their run for the promotion trophy, a lot of them were on loan, right? Most of the players.
Yeah.
So when you come into, I think you set yourself off on the back foot, right? When most of your players that you got promotion with are not there anymore already.
Yeah.
So you kind of have to restart everything from scratch already lah. So, but I agree lah. I do hope that the club Nottingham Forest actually stay up lah. But the thing is that you're gonna play Chelsea and you're gonna play Arsenal lah.
Chelsea can no problem. You got Keylor Navas.
Yeah. He's a huge difference maker, this Navas.
Yeah.
Like
It's
for
a
real.
good buy. It's a good buy.
Yeah.
No, but he does make goalkeeping mistakes though. Like some of the games.
He's a world-class keeper playing for Nottingham. You know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
Yeah,
I get what you mean.
Like you must see who's in front of you. Like like De Gea in front of Maguire.
Yeah. Correct,
Yeah.
correct.
So it's like, I think it's the situation where we essentially can highlight. It's basically like, no matter how good a goalkeeper you are, if your defense is bad, right, it's just going to be bad lah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that in terms of what they have also, they are. I think they're also very hardworking as a team.
Yeah.
Like Kyle Walker Gibbs also is pretty good also.
Morgan White.
Yeah, Morgan. Oh yeah,
Morgan Gibbs White.
Morgan Gibbs White. Kyle Walker Gibbs. I also don't want to talking about the thing. Okay, but I also find that they're also a bit complacent because like the Liverpool game, all of them, both the Jota goal, all of them just stand there only.
No, as in like they work hard, but they're not the best footballers. That's the issue. As in like they're like their striker, the Thai I can't remember his name. Like Iwoniyi, the guy from Nigeria.
Taiwo.
Yeah, Taiwo Iwoniyi, right? He's very, very like physical. Like the whole game, he was just giving Liverpool problems, like how physical he is. But he can't really. He's not a very good finisher, lor. like, you know what I mean? It's like they have like a lot of like work hard type of players, but like not the best, not the most skilled type of footballers, lah. Yeah. But like who's that guy? On the team also. It's escaping my mind. No, not Danilo.
Jesse Lingard.
Mangala. Like Mangala is quite good also. Yeah. As in they have a good like team. They just and they have a Wales player. I think Johnson, right? If I'm not wrong, the top scorer.
No, actually, yes, there's quite. They got what? Renan Lodi, Mangala.
Yeah, Brennan Johnson.
Nekate, Keylor Navas.
I think it'll be very unfortunate for them to get relegated, considering the amount that they spend, because they spend a lot of money. And then for them to get relegated after that, right? If for them to recoup that money, it's going to be very, very difficult.
It's going to be hard because the value of a player drops right the moment they're not in the top flight anymore already.
Yeah, and then they have to sell them for like a discounted rate.
Yeah, and so this Nottingham Forest daringly make an extension contract of the manager.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
The Steve Cooper, correct.
Yeah, like
the Wales guy.
What a brave move.
Yeah, and also I think for the history of the Premier League, right, it's very cool to see Nottingham in the Premier League.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, it's like
nostalgia.
Yeah, nostalgia. Yeah, so it'll be very sad if they go down. But the only thing is that I'm a bit worried with their like matches that they have to play. So like Chelsea and Arsenal, I'm not very sure. I think that for them to survive, right, they will have to beat Southampton, and then
they have to beat Southampton.
Beat Chelsea.
And then they have to like beat Palace lah. They have to
beat Palace and
they have to win two lah. They have to win two. Yeah, cannot draw.
I think like it's what Jordan said earlier, right? I think what he said actually, after in hindsight, what you think is actually correct. It's like for those that are very close to one another, right? 6 points actually may be enough for you to survive.
Yeah, correct.
If one of them stumbles, especially since some of them the games are overlapping with one another. Like so like Leicester, Everton, Forest, Southampton, there's overlap lah. So at least if let's say there's overlap, but then at least it's a way that they can actually find a way to get something going. Like you said, hardworking team, just not the best quality or good amount of players lah.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate. I hope that they stay up because then that way, right, they can actually really rebuild or like find proper players so that they can actually continue to keep the momentum up in the Premier League lah.
Yeah, plus they need that money, man. They need the Premier League money to sort of sustain the players that they have lah. Yeah,
Correct. Because I think once they do get relegated, right, it's like the rest there'll be a rate 100%.
Yeah.
100% there'll be a rate. They just won't get. Okay, so we'll leave the prediction for that for the end. Next one is Leeds United. Wow, this team. They have 4 games left. They have 4 games left. In their past 6 games, they have conceded 19 goals. They have scored 7, and their last 4 games is Manchester City, Newcastle United, West Ham, and Spurs. So essentially, right, they're playing 3 of the top 6. And another club that potentially could be the one that they're fighting for against relegation, even though they're on the higher side. So there is not a sure thing that they will actually survive for Leeds. So I got this question. Have they been in like a bad run of form, or are they just like what is your guys' input on like Leeds United currently?
Yeah, George, go ahead. I saw you going to say something just now.
They can score goals, but they also can concede goals. they just cannot withhold their lead, right, for more than, I don't know, like 15 minutes. I don't know. Can you learn to hold it until the halftime or something?
Yeah. Like just go on. Yeah, the 20th in goals conceded. So they conceded the most goals. They also 19 in clean sheets. Come on, man, Leeds. Yeah. The good thing about them, right, is that Rodrigo and Harrison, they've been playing well. Like the two of them, the attackers, right, they've been playing well. I think Rodrigo has like 11 goals, which is like the most out of like if you look at the bottom, like the bottom, they've been really struggling to score goals, but at least he's got 11 now.
Yeah, and also like the Sinistera, he's also been quite good recently.
Yeah, Sinistera's been quite good.
Since he's been quite good, like he's been scoring quite a few goals recently. Yeah, but like it's the same thing. You score goals, right? But you cannot defend and you cannot prevent goals from happening, right? You're bound to lose more matches, 19 goals in 6 games is quite mad.
Yeah, it's mad. It's mad.
19 goals in 6 games is a lot. Like you can 6 games ago. Like I'm looking at this. 6 games ago, they were already at 49, around 46. 48 goals conceded 6 games ago.
Spurs also reaching that thing also.
Yeah. They got 57 goals conceded, if I'm not wrong. I saw.
Then their past few games, their records were like Liverpool 6-1, Bournemouth lose 4-1, Crystal Palace lose 5-1.
Yeah.
In those 3 games, you already conceded 15 goals already.
Yeah. But I feel that the Leeds, right, they had this like down form ever since this Tyler Adams got injured, which was like around March. If I'm not wrong, mid-March or whatever. He's quite important to them. Like, I think he's by far been their best player the whole season, this Tyler Adams. So when they lose that sort of like anchor in the midfield, that you can tell like, oh yeah, it's a bit chaotic. Because he was supposed to be replacing Calvin Phillips. You know what I mean? Then now you sort of like lose that component in that piece. So I don't see how they can beat City, Tottenham, or Newcastle and West Ham. Yeah. This is very sad to say lah.
But I also think like Calvin Phillips going to Man City, he hasn't played a lot also.
Yeah, but decimated Leeds lah.
Like they dispose quite a good handful of good players though. Like they make good money but to them it's like downfall.
Yeah, like losing Rafinha was quite
losing Rafinha.
Also,
yeah.
Calvin Phillips, Rafinha, these two lah. The main.
But the other thing is the downfall is always since the Bielsa period when they sacked him.
Managers, they have a certain effect, but when you lose certain key players, it also has. I think that has an equally significant effect because Calvin Phillips is your anchor in midfield, right? But Rafinha is your creative outlet, or somebody that can actually give you something extra also when you need it. So if you were to lose one of your key players, it's also a hit because you're trying to essentially try to find players that can actually replace that type of production. Yeah, that will actually help you win also because Rafinha, he's good enough that he can actually win these games,
Yeah. But I also feel like the Bielsa, right? It was not wrong for them to fire him. I feel in that time because when they fired him at that time, they were being too chaotic. Like it's like every game is just like a shootout, that type of thing. Like just run up, run down, run up, run down. And then, I would say that the team they can't really transition out of that thing now. So it's like that's why they still can't like prevent goals from being scored, even though they can score goals. So I think it was like you have to move on. You have to like sort of like change it.
So it's like how to say, like their model was not sustainable in the Premier League.
Yeah,
because you essentially like Mina said, like if you're shooting out every single game, right, you are like essentially waiting for one day when your attack cannot score anymore, then you are in huge trouble already.
Yeah,
true.
Yeah, so that's where it is. So I ask you guys, out of the last 4, how many can they win? Honestly.
Because I say they win none.
ooh, they win 0.
No.
Yeah.
They win 0 means that they will probably like that means that they're good at relegated already.
Draw with West Ham or something.
Yeah, they will not win anything. They will not. I don't think that they'll be able to draw any of them except West Ham. So yeah,
they're out already.
Yeah. To me lah, I penciled them as relegated.
Which is so sad though. Like they work so hard to come back, then they are gone.
Yeah. Plus their manager is he's Yavi Garcia, right? He's managed like lower league clubs in La Liga. So it's like Osasuna, Almeria, Malaga.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I also think that EPL is a bit different. Like the relegation is very competitive. So I think that in this type of moments, right, you need someone that has been through a EPL relegation fight lah. And I don't think that they have enough at all.
No, and I also think that in terms of, let's say for example, like La Liga versus EPL, like La Liga, they are a bit more, how to say, like you know where each team stands. So like there's the top few, then there's the middle, and there's the ones that are gonna fight relegation. So no matter what, right, the majority of the clubs are essentially the same one.
Mm-hmm.
Like who's going to go to the Champions League, who's going to go to the Europa League, who's going to go to Conference, then who's the rest of the league. Rest of the league. Then on match day, you also kind of know what's going to happen lah. But I think when you transfer over to England, like, it's too unpredictable to a point where you also don't know what's going to happen also.
Yeah, that's why like Everton and all these Leicester are in the relegation battle.
Correct. It's very weird. Like, it's like you won't expect like next time it's like seeing them there is like maybe you're expecting Villarreal or Sevilla to be in the relegation battle.
Yeah.
That type of scenario. So same thing, we'll leave the predictions towards the end for this. Next one is, of course, West Ham United.
Interesting.
Same thing. I do think with the amount of talent they have, they shouldn't be where they are. But they have a very, very, very tricky run in. So their run in is Man City, Man United, Brentford, Leeds, Leicester. So they're playing the two Manchester clubs with essentially two top six. Brentford, who are also no slouch. Leeds, who they are fighting for relegation, right? And Leicester, who they're also fighting against for relegation. They have the quality to beat Brentford, Leeds, and I also think that they have the quality to beat Leicester. But where do you think they stand? Are they pretty much safe? Or do you think that there is a chance that out of these 5 games that they might mess up?
Yeah. Maybe George, you want to go first?
You go ahead.
Okay. I would say that I think they have enough to survive. And the main reason why, I think, is that because their midfield is really very good. Like the midfield that they have is like solid. It keeps them in a lot of time, keeps them alive lah. Like the fact that they have Rice, Suchek, Paqueta, all this. I would say that out of the remaining games that they have, I think that they can beat Leicester and that they can beat Leeds. So if they I think that they just need to win one more to be safe. That's the thing. Because then they'll be on 37. I think it's more or less secure for them lah. Yeah. Then the issue with West Ham, I find personally, is that they absorb too much pressure. So it's like they allow people to attack them a lot, which is like Moyes style of like management lah. Then they counter them. So if you look at it, right, they're actually like last in the league with possession. They have 41.3% average, which means that they don't like get the ball also. But then also they're 18th in successful tackles and 19th in yellow cards, which means that they're not really like pressing and they're not playing very physical football. Like they are just more like absorbing them in counter lah. Then they are 13th in goals per match and 14 in clean sheets, which is about their league position. So it's like they're around that particular area. So for me, they've also been a bit lucky they got 8 penalties lah. But I think that this is where I would say the main difference is that managerial experience does matter. I think Moyes is good enough to keep them alive lah. So, I think that they will be able to sort of beat Leeds, and then once they beat Leeds, right, I think they'll be safe. So this is where I sort of like stand with them lah. Yeah. What about you guys?
George, what do you think?
West Ham is in Europa Conference League.
Yeah.
They're in the.
Imagine they win, right?
They're in the semi-final.
Like what? I'm playing championship, then I have to take care of.
You play championship, then you go Europa League. Not bad. But Europa League, you can use the amount of the income and revenue you get from Europa League is still sustainable. It's still quite a big amount. It's quite a bit of money.
Good money.
It's good money. It's good money.
Yeah. Imagine they in championship, they're playing 42 games next season.
They
have to cater to Europa. Wow, sad.
Somehow they will lose all their midfielders or this.
Yeah, imagine Tuesday they play games, then Friday they play. All right, back to the topic. Yeah, I mean West Ham is really a good team. Especially Declan Rice. Is one of hot favorites among the top class. Everybody wants. He wants out himself. Then talking about the forward, they have Fornows. Yeah, they pay good money for this player to come in, but sadly they just cannot gel this season. I don't know why. Yeah, they got the same few forward at Bowen or this Ben Rama. They just like you can see that they are all individual type of players, not the team type of players that Moyes can really gel them together. I don't know why. Like it just they do not link this season compared to.
But I agree because it's weird because last year they were actually quite good.
Yeah, last year you play FPL, you know, like Bowen Benrahma can score points for you.
Yeah.
But Antonio was like hot last year.
Yeah.
Like the start of the first half of the season. Then this year he's like almost like nothing, like contribute.
No, but Antonio's always been like naturally he's always very hot and cold. So there'll be periods where he's like insanely good, like probably the best striker in the league. And then there'll be periods where he's just like absolutely nothing.
Yeah. Did Antonio bulked up?
He's always been quite bulky.
He's always been big, man.
Like
he's always been
quite
like that.
beefy, yeah.
Okay, just find him recently more.
Nothing. But I want to say that like I think like West Ham, they are similar in a sense where they can score goals, but they also concede a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like from what I see is they have, I think they scored 13, they conceded 13 in the past six.
Yeah.
The past six. So they lost to Newcastle 5-1. Then they lost to Palace 4-3. But then they beat Bournemouth 4-0. Then they drew with Arsenal 2-2 and they beat Fulham 1-0. So it's like they can give as much as they can take.
Yeah.
So it's interesting because they are fortunate enough that where they are, right, they need lesser amount of points to be able to survive.
Yeah, correct.
So it's a fortunate position they have because if they were in a position where they're like similar, let's say for example they're in 17th or 18th, right, with the 29-30 point gap, their running is gonna be very hard.
Yeah, correct.
Very hard. But because they are ahead already, their running actually doesn't look as bad already. They just need to manage certain games to be able to get points out of it. And to be really frank, against Man United, right, with Man United's current form, right, they can actually maybe get a point from that. It is possible as a Man United fan. So we'll leave that for later. Are there any other things you want to bring up about West Ham? Because they're not in a state where they're like, oh, it's 100% going to be them. But they're also not in a state where they're also, oh, I'm safe.
I find they have a good defensive squad. If make straight comparison to Spurs defensive squad, they have a better squad there.
Yeah. Cool.
I don't disagree. Like honestly, like Kara, Zuma, Kufal, Creswell,
Ariel,
then Suchek, Rice, Paqueta. The midfield are actually very good.
Yeah.
They only have 4 midfielders though.
That's a problem on the whole squad.
They know depth lah. Depth in midfield.
This Fornals plays cam, right? Like a midfield cam.
So they just have the thing. But they also got Lanzini also, I forgot.
Yeah, Lanzini. He's okay.
They got Lanzini also. So I think they are pretty much okay, but we shall see what we're going towards the end. Because West Ham can be either hot or cold. You don't know which type of West Ham you're going to get on the day one.
Yeah.
But this is Moyes.
Again?
But sorry?
Yeah, George, go ahead.
This is Moyes' second season?
I would say third. I think third.
Right?
I think it's third. Yeah.
So if you come to a point now, right, if I'm the board, right, if this season he survive, right, I'll just quickly change the manager.
Oh, actually, okay.
I won't. I'll give him another half a season.
For the new season and a half
I'll give him the new season. Because honestly, right, like he may need a bit more time to change out something. Because I see that some of the players are going to be leaving also.
Declan Rice.
They need they need some depth lah. And then if like Everton get relegated, right, I'll be targeting all of their players. Like if I'm West Ham, like I want Calvert-Lewin, I want like Onana, I want this stuff. Like because West Ham is the type where they are similar to other clubs whereby you have that one player, right, that you can essentially sell to fund your rebuild. Which is
which is number 41 lah. But the thing is that do I think his value in the upcoming season versus the value you saw him 2 years ago will it be the same? I don't think so.
Yeah,
he's not going to be worth like 3 digits anymore already. Definitely not. So but the thing is that what you can earn from him, right, is significant enough that you can actually do a proper rebuild also if you needed to.
Yep.
If you needed to. Okay, so moving on. The next one. And the last team we're going to talk about is, of course, Wolverhampton Wanderers, who the other day, right, kena hammered by Brighton 6-0. Wow, that was
fine lah.
that was a massacre. But it's a struggle though. Like, Wolves always do this thing, right? Where it's like, hey, why don't you get relegated? Other in the end they survive, right? They say, I cannot buy any player from Wolves anymore.
Yeah. They should be in a lousier position, right, than they are. I feel, honestly.
Oh, you think so?
Yes, because if you were to look at the goal scoring or this, right, I'm very shocked that they are in this position. They just be able to hold out a lot of their games because if you look at it, right, their top assist leader is Moutinho with 2. Two assists. This
as bad as Chelsea, yeah.
Yeah, Podence and Neves, right? Their top scorer is like have 6 lah. So their defense is the reason why that they sort of like can win games lah. So it's like they really just score 1-0 or whatever, then they survive.
Then they hold out lah.
Yeah, so it's like they have 10 clean sheets and then they got smashed by Brighton 6-0, but I think that's a bit of an anomaly. The main difference that will keep Wolves up also is that this Lopetegui is a good manager. Like the manager that he has, like, he's a proven solid track record. Like he coached Sevilla or this lah. So I think they'll be fine.
Yeah, so their running for the last 4 games is Villa, United, Everton, Arsenal. So they will play against Everton, which I think that Wolves are, for them, right, they're too far ahead for the Everton game to mean much to them because they're going to be safe. Because usually most of the time, normal season, right, you're talking about 40 points in the safe space to secure safety. They're currently at 37. So if you're looking at the last 4, right, they just have to beat Everton.
Yeah. If they can get 2 points, right, there'll be no issue. Like even honestly, right, I can talk myself into it. Like if they just get 1 draw, they'll be fine because they'll be at 38 points. I think it's very hard for for 3 other teams to get to 38 points lah. Looking at the bottom,
it's very difficult because they are 7 points ahead, and the only way that there'll be a 7-point difference is unless the rest of the clubs win all their matches, right, and Wolves lose everything.
This Raul Jimenez got injured. Like he don't even score a goal this season.
Yeah, he's not been playing well.
Like last season, he's like, wow, wonder. Then this season,
I think he's played only 13 games and he's 1 assist lah. But I mean, they should be able to score more, like with the players that they have lah. Yeah.
No, plus they also have Diego Costa.
Useless. Sorry, but yes.
Do you see the very stupid VAR call that they stopped the game for? The Wolves and Brighton one.
Yeah.
Oh, that was so stupid. I was like, why they stop why they do the VAR call? It's just because Diego Costa is just like holding the player to the floor.
Yeah, Diego Costa, they got him. Then also like first match got red card, right?
Yeah.
Seemed like the
Felix.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Yeah.
But what you say is true. Like a lot of their games are 1-1, 1-0, 1-0, 2-0.
Yeah. That's how they win. They just survive.
So I think for Wolves, right, they are pretty much safe lah. From relegation. The only thing that can happen is unless they lose all 4, right, then the rest of the teams win everything.
Yeah, but it's a bit hard because the other teams, they're playing each other.
Yeah.
And then also like so in a way I think that it's very hard. So I would consider them more or less safe lah. But it's just
correct.
And it's just mathematically they technically can still be in a relegation battle lah.
Correct. Because of their last 4 games, right, I think they have a chance of winning at least 2. Like let's say for example, just the Villa and Everton one. They've always done well against Man United, so maybe they might get a point. They may get a point, they may whichever. So essentially, right, their maximum, they're probably looking at maybe about 7 points.
Yeah,
if everything goes smooth, which essentially is already securing their safety already lah. So I think for Wolves, they are not really part of the relegation. They're just in a hypothetical situation that it may actually happen.
Correct.
It may actually happen lah. West Ham also similar because West Ham do have a game in hand lah. against compared to Wolves. So if let's say West Ham win 2, right, I think they're also safe also.
Mm-hmm.
Which is, I think, probably West Ham can get probably 9 points, which is Brentford, Leeds, and Leicester.
Mm-hmm.
Which will essentially put them in the safety. Okay, so with all of this and all this consideration that we have, right? Relegation prediction time, boys. Who is going down? Okay, I think all three of us, right? Standard baseline, 20th is Southampton, right?
Down.
Okay, Southampton down. Okay, I'm gonna go to Jordan. Who's your 3? Or like the 2 after Southampton?
The remaining two, I would think is. I want Leicester to go down.
Because you want to take all the players.
Please, man. Yeah. I think Leicester will go down.
Mm-hmm.
And then so Leicester and
then Leeds.
Wow. Fair. Millet, what's your one?
Southampton, Everton, Leeds. These 3. Yeah. I just don't think that Leeds will win any game. And I don't think Everton will be able to beat Brighton, Man City, and Wolves. So the only chance is to beat Leicester and Bournemouth. That will be +6. And that will be at 34 points. I think that the other teams will be able to get 34 points. So yeah, that's my reasoning.
Yeah, my reasoning is also pretty much the same. I think that Leeds United, they're not going to win a single game.
Yeah, they're not.
Of the last 4 is too it's a challenge for them really. I think the other one will probably be Everton. So my position is 20th Southampton. I think Everton probably maybe 19th.
Mm-hmm.
And Leeds 18 . So Leeds one cannot. They're not going to win. Everton, I agree with everything Mia said also, is the similar consensus in a sense where they can probably maybe beat Brighton, and they can probably maybe beat Leicester and Bournemouth, but the rest of the 3 they're not going to win . So even if you get 6 points 34, everybody else is probably going to get 34 also.
Yeah. The one team that I was like sort of considering is Nottingham, but it's because Nottingham plays Southampton also at the end. So I think that that one they got a chance to win. Then if they win that, they'll be like 33. So 33 is a bit harder for other teams to catch. So yeah,
Yeah, but Nottingham Forest must remember their running, of course, is also Chelsea, Arsenal, and Palace .
Yeah, correct.
So if let's say Nottingham
I'm
Forest
on the Southampton game.
Yeah. so my thing, but the thing is that if let's say for example, if let's say Nottingham Forest, they win 1 but they lose the rest.
Mm-hmm.
They finish with 33.
Yeah.
So they finish with 33. Then if Everton win 2, Everton stay promoted. Everton stay up. Then Nottingham and Leeds go down.
Everton are not winning 2. That's all I can say. Not winning 2.
Okay. So all right. So thanks. That is it for this week's episode. We've already given our predictions for who we think are going to get relegated. Let's see how it turns out for the end of the season. Hey guys, I think we need to decide soon, right, who gets what prize for correct predictions. Because we've been I would say that recently our predictions have been pretty close or almost there. So maybe we need to decide who gets a prize for the winning prediction.
Yeah, I don't need a prize. I just need Everton to get relegated. It's a prize good enough prize for me.
Okay, cancel. All right, so that is it. That's it for this week's episode of the Football Kaki. All right, so that is it for this week's episode of the Football Kaki. Thank you all for listening in. And for those of you who are continuing to support our channel here at the Chit Chatter Podcast Network, we want to remind you of the shows that we have, which are the Kopi Bros every Monday, 8 a.m., where we talk about different topics, and the people involved are, of course, our Kaki Bros, Milet and Paul, plus our Chit Chatter bro, Brendan, where they discuss a lot of different things, and it's quite funny. So keep a lookout for that every Monday. Of course, every Friday we have our SG Draft podcast, where we draft and talk about different things and have fun while we do it. It involves the whole Chit Chatter gang with different guests and everything. So do keep a lookout for that every Friday, 8 a.m. So from everyone here at the Football Kaki, which releases every Wednesday, 8 o'clock, we just want to say thank you. And we hope that you have a great week ahead. The season's drawing to a close. We have exciting title run in, and of course, a very heated up relegation battle. Plus, of course, the Champions League is going to come to its conclusion. So, with that, once again, thank you, everybody. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the Chit Chatter Podcast Network. And we just want to wish you a happy week ahead. And thank you for listening in. And we hope that you have a good EPL title run in and a good remainder of football for the rest of the season. We'll see you soon next week. Bye-bye.
Come on, Nottingham. Come on, Nottingham. Bye-bye.